Hey, how's it going, guys? So we're back with another Star Wars reaction video. If you're new channel, welcome. So this video is also by the Lore Master, and also credits and shout out goes out to the Lore Master again for providing great videos. And I made a mistake. I said the 5 Jedi that joined the Galactic Empire video that I watched recently is the very first video I watched by the Lore Master. I made a mistake. It's not my very first one. I watched several other ones like I don't remember the titles off the top of my head, but I did watch several other videos and they're on the channel, so my apologies to the Lore Master if you're watching this somehow. But anyways, this one is called The Most Powerful Bounty Hunter in Star Wars. Now, I don't know if this is more of like a... Oh, and the name is Durge. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Now, the only bounty hunters that I really know are like Jango Fett, the Mandalorian from The Mandalorian, Din Djarin, Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, Cad Bane, Bosk, Dengar, and there's like so many bounty hunters basically. And I don't know if this counts, but Asajj Ventress, because she did bounty hunter work for a little bit. And Aura Singh. But for me personally, out of all the bounty hunters that's my favorite, it would be Jango Fett, because I have a really deep connection with Jango Fett, because I did mention in one of my videos that he's the very first Star Wars character I have ever played in a Star Wars game, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, and he is a bounty hunter and a Mandalorian, so I really like him. But anyways, I'm really excited to check out what makes this bounty hunter the most powerful bounty hunter in Star Wars in the Star Wars universe. So without anything else, let's jump into it.
When it comes to talking about the most powerful characters in Star Wars, we almost never bring up bounty hunters. Instead, it's usually Jedi, Sith, or simply any character who can use the Force. But there's one bounty hunter who possesses abilities that surpass even full-fledged Jedi Masters, and perhaps even Sith. His name is Durge, a bounty hunter who has plagued the galaxy for thousands of years. He is a part of a super rare species known as Jedi, a species that are made up entirely of just nerves and muscle. They have no bones, heart, or lungs.
It's the same.
On top of that, they possess a regenerative
same species from Jedi Survivor,
from what are considered to be fatal injuries. In other words, literally almost nothing can kill them. Let's just look at what Durge himself has gone through. He was stabbed in the chest with a lightsaber, and his reaction to it was just to laugh at the Jedi's feeble attempts at trying to kill him. Later, his limbs were cut off, another feeble attempt, as they regrew minutes later. And finally, Durge was literally blown into bits from the inside out. Yeah, you thought Obi-Wan killed him after doing that. Nope, Durge was still alive, and just slowly regenerated back into his full self, becoming active again in the Clone Wars a few months later. Although his regenerative abilities made him an unkillable foe, it was his 2,000 plus years of combat experience which made him so dangerous.
Oh, yeah, because they can live long.
Years before the Clone Wars, a young Durge became obsessed with hunting after witnessing a group of bounty hunters in action. This propelled him to leave his planet and train
that's a cool armor design
throughout the galaxy, wishing to perfect the art of hunting prey, whether they be animals or full-fledged warriors. He was eventually trained by a Mandalorian known as Jain, who taught the Gendai bounty hunter Mandalorian fighting tactics and combat skills.
No wonder he's so effective.
They both were later contacted by a cybernetist doctor who wanted to enhance their abilities by providing them advanced armor and cybernetics in return for their protection. Believing not taking up the offer would make them obsolete in the future, they both accepted and underwent the procedures. After their surgeries, both Durge and Jain were outfitted with highly advanced armor, which gave them a targeting computer that was linked directly to their brains, allowing them to target an enemy simply by looking at them. The armor also provided balance and automatic counterattacks for them when the enemy got too close, as well as increasing their speed and accuracy. Shortly after their practice fight with one of the doctor's experiments, an entire squad of Mandalorians blew through the facility's walls and started to attack them. They were hired by an individual who sought to take back a Sith artifact that the doctor supposedly stole. Initially, they were able to fend off against the Mandalorians, but the tide of battle quickly shifted when Jain was injured by a thermal detonator. Seeing his mentor get blown up right in front of him, Durge went into full rage mode, eliminating many of the surviving Mandalorians and causing the rest to retreat. When things settled, Durge comforted his dying master, demanding the doctor to save him. The doctor told him that he had nothing to worry about, and that his friend would survive, but that his life would always be in danger as long as the Mandalorians were alive. This caused Durge to go after the Mandalorians to their homeworld of Mandalore.
Dang, dude,
After
he just
Durge
taking on
left, the
Mandalorians
Doctor
like that?
revealed his secret
Wow.
agenda, which was to cause war among the Sith and the Mandalorians, and that this was one of the first steps in achieving that goal. Jiaying later died, though it is unknown if the Doctor let him die or just failed to save him. When Durge learned of Jiaying's death, he became obsessed with avenging his mentor's death by killing as many Mandalorians as he possibly could. Once the new Sith Wars began, a series of conflicts in which the Sith fought against the Jedi and their new Mandalorian allies, Durge aligned with the Sith, wishing to kill the Mandalorians into extinction. During this war, Durge confronted Jedi, to whom he became very accustomed to killing, learning of their techniques and their weaknesses. After the Sith lost the war, Durge went into hiding, not wanting to be hunted by the Jedi constantly at every corner. As time passed, he eventually became a bounty hunter again, where he made himself a fortune. About 100 years before the Clone Wars, Durge accepted a bounty to eliminate the current Mandalore, who was the leader of the Mandalorians. Although
That's
he
one
was
hell of a
successful
contract.
with killing him, he was captured by other Mandalorians who tortured him beyond belief. They couldn't kill him, so they simply made him feel as much pain as possible, endlessly cutting him up and then letting him regenerate, just so that they can repeat the process over and over again. Durge was able to eventually escape, but such extreme torture left him completely damaged and deformed, forcing him to bury himself so he could allow himself to slowly regenerate and heal himself. This healing process took over 60 years. Once he finally came out of his hibernation, Durge learned that there weren't many Mandalorians left to kill like there were in the past. This left him disappointed, but then he learned of the clone army of the Republic, which was an entire army created from a Mandalorian. So to him, killing them would be just as satisfying as killing regular Mandalorians. With this new bloodlust targeted towards the clone troopers of the Republic, Durge was recruited by Count Dooku to become a commander within the Separatist military. In his early engagements, he usually was paired up with Asajj Ventress. Together they killed many Jedi, with at one point even having Obi-Wan Kenobi at their complete mercy. Though fortunately for him, they were ordered to keep him alive, as Dooku had plans for the Jedi Master. On one occasion, when Durge was attacked from behind by a Jedi, he just grabbed him and dunked him into lava, killing him instantly. Sure, he lost his arm in the process, but why would he care? They would just regenerate. Near the end of the war,
he just dunked him in lava.
Missions. On one mission, he bested both Jedi Masters Kit Fisto and Plo Koon, forcing them to retreat and call in for backup. Along with his combat experience, his natural abilities allowed him to sense the heartbeat of his enemies from up to 200 meters away. He also could shoot his nerves out like tentacles, wrapping them around his enemies and crushing them to death. And when things got too intense, he would go into his total rage mode, which increased his body mass and made him basically act up and fight like the Hulk, using his newfound strength to crush everything in his path for a limited amount of time. Despite his natural powers and his immense knowledge in combat,
he's got a really cool
was
armor
not
though.
A perfect warrior, and this was mostly due to his mental state. Although his regenerative powers were his greatest strength, they did indirectly contribute to his greatest weakness. His regenerative powers only brought back his brain tissue, but did not heal it, meaning that through age, his brain tissue degenerated over time, causing him a form of psychosis. On top of that, the torture he experienced from the Mandalorians and his unending rage towards them also contributed to his deteriorated psychological state, making him insane and impaired from the outside senses. This caused him to be a bit too aggressive at times, having his rage take over his rational thought, making do things that could lead to his defeat. On top of that, his ability not to die made him very carefree when he fought. Since he really had no sense of death, he couldn't really care less if his foes beat him, as he could always just regenerate and try again. So there was no reason for him to perfect his fighting, nor did he have to strategically plan out his attacks. This is why General Grievous was able to easily defeat him, as Durge simply didn't really care
General Grievous
and
that
didn't
got
take
him.
the effort to analyze his new foe. He just ran at Grievous like he did with every other enemy,
Ruscut,
and attacked him as if he were a Jedi or Mandalorian. But Grievous operated like nothing he had fought before, which is why Grievous was able to decapitate Durge and make him submit, proving to Dooku that Grievous should be supreme commander of the droid army, not Durge. Along with this carefree attitude, Durge was also very overconfident when he fought a Jedi. He would mock them and not really take them seriously, usually bragging about how he had killed so many Jedi before during the fight, though this overconfidence was eventually his downfall. Like was said before, literally almost nothing could kill Durge. Almost nothing. There was only one way to kill a Gendai, and that was by having their entire body and all of the matter completely vaporized at an atomic level, meaning that only them being blown up by a nuclear bomb or being thrown into a star could kill them. Durge was killed by the latter, in which, during his fight against Anakin Skywalker, he was force-pushed into an escape pod and launched into a nearby star. With no means of escape, Durge vaporized as he made contact with the star, finally killing him for good. Had Anakin not done this, Durge would probably still be alive for thousands of more years, wreaking havoc on all his enemies in unending bloodlust.
Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. Oh, he made this during that time. Well, okay, he convinced me. Durge is the strongest, most powerful bounty hunter in the Star Wars universe, but not just bounty hunter, he's just one of the most powerful characters I've ever heard of. And I did mention during the video that he is the exact same species as that leader of Bedlam Raiders in Jedi Survivor, but I just can't remember his name. But it was the same thing, and he was a pretty tough boss to kill, and now I understand. But this guy is on another level. He has been cybernetically enhanced, he has regenerative ability, he was trained by Mandalorians. But that's pretty interesting. He was trained by Mandalorians, but he went after Mandalorians. It's pretty ironic. And he was able to do all this, and in Legends, he basically was part of the Sith and the Separatists. So I really like this video, and Durge, I gotta look him out because he's a really interesting character. I might even do a video reacting to him, who knows. But we'll see. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and a shout out to the Lore Master again for providing another great video, because this one was amazing. And also hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video, and thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it, and until then, I'll see you guys next time.